Well, guys, we got some pretty important news for the upcoming MCU reboot of the Fantastic Four. This information comes from Matt Shakman, who's set to direct the upcoming film, and recently he gave a lot of interesting insight into not only what's going on with the film, but where it'll be filmed, a very interesting statement on casting, and the quintessential of all topics when it comes to the Fantastic Four, Jack Kirby. So let's dive into all that. Well, for a couple of months, there have been rumors surrounding Marvel's upcoming Fantastic Four movie, but none of the things we're hearing seem to come to fruition. We keep hearing name after name for almost every member of Marvel's first family, but at this point, we have absolutely no idea who's going to suit up as Invisible Woman, Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch, and The Thing. Now, Matt Shakman remains in charge of the long-awaited reboot, and although he's been pretty close-lipped about the whole thing, he recently sat down with Collider and gave us some insight into what's going on, and it sounds like it's moving along rather nicely. Now, when he was asked about how the project has been progressing, he said, "Absolutely having a great time. It's a dream of mine to be able to work on that. I've loved those characters since I was little. It's such an awesome world to be in, the script is awesome, the characters are brilliant. I'm super excited." Now, obviously, Shakman's going to carry water for this project, but his tone and response really does seem like a guy who is into what he's doing. He did go on to confirm some shooting plans which should start next spring, assuming the strike works its way out, and that's going to happen at London's Pinewood Studios, which, for a movie like this, is absolutely classic. Now, one of the things they did talk about was the actor strike, and how pre-production has been taking place while all of these deals, challenges, and contracts have been working out. And interestingly enough, he mentioned something that's super true for the Fantastic Four, but also very important. He said, "You know how you translate those skills into live action in dynamic ways? Because some things that work beautifully in John Bryan or Jack Kirby are a little tougher when you're filming them. How do you make sure that things are exciting but also grounded in a scientific thing, which is also part of the Fantastic Four that I love? There's some stuff I'm super excited about." Based on this statement, it sounds to me they've started to give some serious thought to the powers of each members of the team. And if you read the comics, you know over the generations, we've seen how their powers can vary, alter, and do all kinds of rather unexpected things. The fact that he specifically mentions Jack Kirby and John Bryan's run on the characters really should give us some insight into the classic nature of this upcoming feature, and honestly, as a fan of Fantastic Four, those are really the words I wanted to see. The big thing everybody has been wondering about is the casting news, because we still have no idea, despite the deluge of names from Adam Driver, Jake Gyllenhaal, Matt Smith, Joseph Quinn, Ebon Moss-Barack, and even Adam Driver and Margot Robbie's names have all been put out in front of us. Now, Shakman seemed to have some cards he was holding close to the chest here, but made it pretty clear those announcements are going to happen after the SAG strike wraps up. He told Collider, "I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we get a great deal really soon and we can go back. And once that's resolved, there'll be a plan at that point, but I can't say too much. There will be an announcement at some point. I know that the internet is very excited to find out, and I'm excited to share it. I just can't do it yet." Now, right here, he seems to be playing a little coy because it's totally unclear about what's going on and if they've actually picked their team. It seems like he might be teasing us with the fact that he has indeed cast a team. They're just holding that close to the chest until the strike works its way out. Actually, when you think about how union contracts and these strikes work with the studios, they may not actually even be able to say if the deal was complete before we went into the strike. They might not be able to announce that as of yet, and Marvel might be playing it a little safely because it's been pretty hard to find a cast for this movie, and they might not want to set fan expectations and then change direction unexpectedly. Now, Shakman concluded by saying they're going to be doing some very different things from a story standpoint and from a filmmaking standpoint to make it fit into the material. It makes it pretty clear it's unlike anything you've seen before, and certainly not anything that they've done at Marvel Studios before, which honestly, that's what I wanted to hear because I want something brand new for this Fantastic Four to rejuvenate the MCU. The movie's still set to release on May the 2nd, 2025. Assuming the strike ends pretty soon, I think we're still on track for that date, but when we get some official news from Marvel Studios on the cast, we're gonna have to wait and see.